What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Simply P back again with another daily dose. So today we'll be going through the process of how I got an auto loan and what do I do when I'm searching for a car. And I had a lot of people ask me the question, so I just want to share what I usually do. Number one thing I usually do is I kind of get my budget set before I ever go and look at cars. So if my budget is $500 to $600, then I go onto a program on the internet and I look at how much can a car cost that will give me a payment of $550 per se. And then I look and it gives me, that's about $38,000, $37,000. So then now I know my limit is about $38,000. So then I start looking for the car that I want under that price point. And I look on Cars, Auto Trader, CarGurus, and I look, when I was going through the process of buying my A7 prior to having my BMW, this is what I did. And now I know I don't want to buy a brand new car because I can't afford that. I wanted to get a car that was CPO, under 30,000 miles, and so that's what I look for. Once I kind of found the car that I really liked on the internet and I've searched all over, I do more than search just in my state. I search nationwide because I have no problem flying somewhere and getting a car for a better deal than it is here in Minnesota. So I always do my search nationwide so I can buy the best car. So once I kind of get the car that I like and kind of pinpoint it down, I always look on Kelley Blue Book to compare the price that they are selling it for to see if it's worth that. And I like to try to buy cars with a little bit of equity in it. And what that means is if the car costs, say $37,000, they're selling it for $37,000, but the Kelley Blue Book price is $38,000 or $39,000, that means I'm buying that car with a couple $1,000s equity. So I like to do that. Buy cars close to that equity line, the price that they're worth. Then the next thing I do is I go get my own financing. Go to either a major bank, like Wells Fargo, US Bank, different banks like that, big banks like that. And then I always apply at another place too, like a local bank or a credit union. And I find that credit unions usually have the lowest interest rates because they're able to be more flexible than the big banks are. The big banks don't truly need your business. Local credit unions, they thrive on the community and they need the community's business to stay afloat. So they give the best rates. But I always suggest, going to multiple places so you can compare the loans you get, the loan value, the length, and then the interest rates. That's a big leveraging thing, and I'll get to that later. So once I kind of got I found a bank that I'm going to go through to get a loan, usually a credit union, and I got the loan. Before I apply for the loan, I always look at my credit. So I pull my credit or I go to Credit Karma, do the different things. Everybody's allowed, like I said in the previous videos, one free credit report a year. So you look at your credit and you make sure there's nothing, negative on there. There's nothing that's not supposed to be on there, maybe, faulty stuff. And you make sure all of that stuff is off your credit and your credit score is where it should be so you can get the best interest rate on your loan. Once you have that in place, you go apply for the loan. You apply at different places. You find the one that's best for you. What I like to do, I always go for either 60 months or 72 months sometimes, but usually 60 months. And why I say that is I like to, get the loans that are longer so my payment is a little bit less. And then I'm very diligent about paying a little bit extra every month. There's usually no penalty for that. So you got to make sure you ask the bank or whoever you're getting your loan through, is there a penalty for paying the car off early? Usually it's not, but make sure you ask. So once I've been pre-approved and I got the funds and I kind of showed them the cars, the 2 or 3 cars that I'm eyeing, and they put the money in my account or they say you're approved for this much, then I usually call the dealership or I go to the dealership and see the car. Now, having my own financing gives me a big leveraging coin because as far as the dealership is concerned, I'm paying cash, I got my own stuff set up. And what that does is allow me to negotiate the price a little bit better than if I had to go through the dealership and get financing. I always like to come with my own financing for that reason. So on my A7, I was able to get a couple $1,000s off because I had the money right there and then to go. So I said, I offer something stupid low. They didn't accept it. They hit me with a counter. I hit them with another counter. We met in the middle. Boom, $2,000 off. Got the car out their hands. So that's $2,000 saved right away. Now, another thing I always suggest doing is paying your tax, title, and licensing right there up front, putting that as your down payment. And why I say that is because I was burned one time. I went and bought a Jeep Wrangler. The car was $33,000. And I said, I don't want to put no money down. And so they added my tax, titles, and licensing all to my loan. And what it made me do is the car at $32,000 was a great buy. It was, what the car was worth on Kelley Blue Book. But adding that other $3,500 or $3,800, what it totaled out to be, made me upside down. That means like my loan was for $36,000, but my car was only worth $32,000. So that $4,000 difference is called negative equity. So that means like if I was to go crash the car right now today, then my car would be worth $32,000, but I owe $36,000. So you don't want to do that. I always suggest, man, what I always do is pay the tax, title, and licensing right up front. So that way, like, I'm buying the car at the value of what I think is worth, or, buying the car at a little bit under that value, the actual buying price. So after, I purchase the car and I do all of that, one thing I really like to do is I, pay a little bit extra on my car payment. So if my car payment is $500, I'm going to pay $550. And I say that because what that helps you do is, pay down the principal. So when you have a car payment, right in the beginning, the first year or so, 90% or probably 95% of your car payment is interest. The bank wants their money back. They want their money back up front. So that $50 extra goes straight towards the principal. And if you do that for a year or two, like I do, and then I like to change cars often, then when I go to trade my car in, my car is actually worth more than what my loan value is. The people offer me more than what my loan value is, so I ended up coming out on top, or I ended up breaking even on a lot of my cars. So, that's just a suggestion of things that I do when I go look for cars. Number one, have your budget in place before you start looking for your car. Have that, monthly payment or that total amount of a car that you want. Number two, shop and take your time and shop for cars. Do your homework on a car. Look, test drive multiple cars. Make sure this is a car that you really want and that you can afford, because it's a difference between buying a car and being able to afford a car. Number three is make sure that you go do your own financing at multiple different places. So try a local small bank or a credit union, try a big bank, and then, also, go see what the dealer has to offer. Maybe they can match you or even give you a better rate. And then you can negotiate the price. Always negotiate the price. Don't be afraid to negotiate the price, and don't be afraid to walk away from a car if it's not exactly what you want. So always go and negotiate the price. What they say, a closed mouth don't get fed. So go out there, throw something out there. Throw something a little bit low. Don't be ridiculous now and disrespectful. But if the car's $38,000, say, look, I got $35 for you. See what he's talking about. Or I got $36 for you. Then all they can do is say no, and then you can negotiate from there. Once you purchase the car, make sure you pay tax, title, and licenses. Don't forget that. Pay the tax, title, and licenses so you're not upside down and you don't have negative equity right away. And then, pay your payments on time every month, and add a little bit extra so you can pay that principal down. You'll be paying your car off early because you're paying down that principal, so you won't last the full 60 months or 72 months, whatever one you decide. So those are my just few tips about what I do when I go buy a car. And I know I was kind of fast with it, but if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and then I will answer them. I hope this was very helpful to you guys. I know it was kind of brief, but that's just kind of like the Reader's Digest version of what I do. Well, it's your boy Simply P. All I can ever be is me. Until next time, peace.